You said at the start of the season, the first campaign really about setting principles, getting your message across. The second campaign, you normally win. Are you seeing enough in this side that this season you do think that they will be a side that can win? I'm talking silverware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competing right at the top.
Am I going to answer the question, or are you going to keep asking it? No, absolutely. And I think I'll correct myself. I don't usually win things. I always win things in my second year. Nothing's changed.
And you're confident you can do that with this side? You're seeing enough?
Well, I just said it now, so I don't say things unless I believe it.
That is the exact mentality Tottenham need to win their first trophy in 16 years. And while their early season results have been less than impressive, Ange Postecoglou can certainly be proud and deserves all the flowers for the job he's done. And all of this after losing arguably their biggest legend, Harry Kane, after constantly losing star players such as James Maddison and Heung-min Son to injuries, and despite the bad reputation the team has had for over a decade and a half. Yes, when Postecoglou arrived at Tottenham Hotspur, the bar was set very high and the expectations were gigantic. In the beginning, he wasn't known to the average football fan, or at least not to those who didn't follow the Scottish Premiership. Coming from another big club like Celtic, however, he was known in the circles as a coach with an established footballing philosophy and a clear plan to get Tottenham back on the road to silverware. And when he mentioned his second season trophy record in his past, after the loss to Arsenal at the start of the season, he wasn't just throwing some crap in the air. Let's explore it. His first relatively high-profile club was Brisbane Roar in Australia, where he arrived in 2009 and won the title in 2010-11. Next, the Australian national team. He arrived in 2013 and won the AFC Asian Cup in 2014-15. Then he changes scenery, moving to Japan and joining Yokohama Marinos in 2018. And guess what? They win their first J1 League title in 2019 after 15 years of drought. And finally, Celtic, starting in 2021. There, Ange is the real deal, winning in both his first and second seasons in charge. So yes, the things Postecoglou said are actually facts, and it's probably fair to give him more time before judging the quality of his work. What's also impressive, and reinforces the impression that he's a complete professional, is the fact that under his guidance, Spurs are building an identity rather than just playing for the trophies. Unlike a certain Erik ten Hag, whose team plays some of the most unattractive football in the Prem, but then takes pride in himself when winning trophies, Tottenham, on the other hand, play beautiful football, and that was on display at Old Trafford when the two sides met, with Spurs winning 3-0. And since many might object to us using stats for the entire game, given Bruno Fernandes' red card, let's just focus on the first half performances, at the end of which the Portuguese were sent off. Big chances, 2 for Tottenham and 0 for United. Shots, 12 for Tottenham and 3 for United. Possession, 63% for Tottenham and 37% for United. Expected goals, 1.99 for Tottenham and 0.34 for United. Well, this pretty much proves the huge difference between the two teams, and also at the Red Devils' home. Now let's talk about Tottenham as a unit since the arrival of Ange Postecoglou. Well, first of all, he's certainly been a breath of fresh air for those looking to watch some flowing and fast-paced football. When he took over in the summer of 2023, Spurs faced a huge challenge with the departure of their all-time top scorer, Harry Kane, to Bayern Munich. It left a huge void in the squad and a lot of doubt amongst the supporters, but also a lot of money that, if used properly, could have done wonders for Tottenham. And Ange wasn't fazed, not at all. The Aussie came in with a clear vision, and the first step was smart recruitment. Key signings such as James Maddison, Brennan Johnson, Destiny Udogie and Micky van de Ven transformed Spurs' outlook. Maddison's creativity and versatility made him the heartbeat of Postecoglou's side, orchestrating attacks and thriving in a central role. Johnson brought blistering pace and directness to the Spurs attacks, while Udogie and Van de Ven solidified the back line. Udogie in particular excelled as an attacking fullback, providing width and creativity. The Dutchman, meanwhile, has since proved himself not only a solid defender with astonishing pace, but also one of the most versatile centre-halves in the league, not afraid to take his chances in attack. We all remember his fabulous assist for Johnson against United, when he intercepted the ball and ran half the length of the pitch before squaring for the Welshman to slot home effortlessly. Tactically, Postecoglou's revolutionised Tottenham's game plan. He shifted the team's focus from the reactive, counter-attacking football of Antonio Conte to a proactive, possession-based approach. The high-tempo, front-foot football that Ange preaches is built on quick passing, intense pressing and fluid movement. His system involves a 4-3-3 formation, with Maddison, a creative force in midfield, and wingers such as Johnson and Son pushing the tempo down the flanks. Unlike his predecessors, Postecoglou's style relies on versatility, and his use of inverted fullbacks has allowed Udogie and Pedro Porro to influence the game by moving inside and acting as supporting midfielders. But after the end of such a long and successful era, in which one player was responsible for over 80% of the team's goals, namely Harry Kane, Postecoglou had to find the right solution, and in his first season, he adopted a more democratic approach to scoring goals, spreading the load amongst attackers such as Son, Johnson, Maddison, and even Dejan Kulusevski, who has a solid goal-scoring record for Spurs. The change rejuvenated the team, making them unpredictable and difficult to defend. Interestingly though, Ange had his direct replacement for Kane in Richarlison, but he insisted on the more unpredictable attack, which proved to be very successful for Tottenham. Unlike this season, where he already has a proven number 9 in Dominic Solanke, who's already shown his qualities in his typical role, but more on that in a minute. With all this in mind, Tottenham had a very good debut season under Postecoglou, finishing 5th in the Premier League and qualifying for the Europa League. And we're going to say something surprising, but hear us out. At the current state of Tottenham and their ambitions, the Europa League is 100% the better choice compared to the Champions League. The second best European competition is literally the ideal place for Tottenham. In the Champions League, they don't have the expertise to compete with Europe's top teams such as Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Bayern Munich, but they are also well above the level of the Conference League. And in the Europa League, they're top favourites to win the trophy according to Opta analyst data as of 23rd of October. There, they have literally nothing to lose, winning their games almost effortlessly and have been able to try out different tactics, sometimes even going for an experimental lineup, starting with 3 under-18s like the super talented Archie Gray, Micky and Lucas Bergvall, as they did against AZ Alkmaar. Now, before we continue, just a quick reminder to subscribe to our channel. It's completely for free and you lose literally nothing. It's a no-brainer if you ask me. And where were we? In order to make a parallel with another big team's improvement, let's use arch-rivals Arsenal in this context. In the early days of Mikel Arteta, the Gunners couldn't even qualify for continental tournaments, but then, slowly and gradually, they made it to the Europa League twice in 3 years, improving massively in the process. Then, over time, they became one of the best teams in the league, constantly challenging for the title, coming to the present day when they are one of the 10, maybe even 5 most feared teams in the world, because of patience, because of hard work, because of dedication, and of course, the professionalism of a brilliant coach. But you know, the same can be said for Ange Postecoglou. He has the know-how, he just needs to be patient enough to put it into practice. That's why the key to Tottenham's return to the heights that every Spurs fan dreams of is patience and progressive improvement. Now let's focus on the team's overall performance this season. With 4 wins, 1 draw and 3 defeats from 8 games, it certainly doesn't look like they've improved their league form since last season. The points tally doesn't tell the whole story, however, as Tottenham had one of the toughest starts to the season of any of the 20 teams, facing the likes of Newcastle, Arsenal, Man United and Brighton in their first 7 games. It was always going to be a tough challenge, and unfortunately for the fans, Tottenham only managed to win 1 of their games. But that doesn't mean Spurs have played badly in their 3 defeats. Far from it. Postecoglou's men were brilliant in attack against both Arsenal and Newcastle, and against the latter, they could have easily won but missed far too many chances. The North London derby was a different story, as they're arguably the second best team in the league, but even there, Tottenham put on a good show. The Brighton game, on the other hand, is in a different category, because it was one of those games where you underestimate your opponent when you think it's all over. 2-0 at the break, and then a complete turnaround for 21 minutes after the start of the second half. Absolutely unacceptable, but it just goes to show that this defeat was not down to tactics or poor execution. Nope, it was simply a lack of discipline and concentration, which could be fixed in the short term. Another fact to mention are the comparisons to last season. Like, did fans really expect Tottenham to make a start like last season, avoiding losing for 10 games and racking up 26 points from a possible 30? This was literally one of the best starts in history. The bar was set far too high. But you know what? Every football specialist will say this. It's far better to finish the campaign on a high than to start this good. And as it seems, the good form is already back. Actually no, Tottenham are flying right now, winning 7 out of their last 8 games in all competitions, as well as scoring 18 and conceding only 7 goals in that period. And all that's left to do is to watch how he manages the criticism in time of little crisis. because it will certainly come at some point, but if he copes with it, this Tottenham season really has the potential to be special. Now, what do you think? Do you think 2024-25 could finally be the season to break the curse and put Tottenham back amongst the winning teams in England? Or if that still seems too far from reality, what would you call a positive season for the side? Tell us in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed the content on our channel, don't hesitate to give yourself similar videos in the future by clicking the subscribe and the bell icon. Or why not click on our latest upload you can see on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and until next time.